Welcome to the CFO Track podcast. I'm your host, Tom Hunter, and every week I'll be bringing you stories from some of Australia's best and brightest CFOs and the lessons they learnt along the way. My goal for the podcast is to provide learning and development opportunities for those wanting to get to the level of the guests on this show, but they just didn't have the access to those lessons otherwise. Let's get into it. On today's show, I'm joined by Jacqueline Hasler, the COO of XYSense, a privacy-first occupancy sensor business. Jacqueline was part of a massive growth period for REA Group and then took the deliberate move into the startup space and has held CFO roles with Nura, Tribe, and more recently XYSense. She also gives a really honest perspective on burnout and how taking a proper career break can actually be the thing that drives your career forward. It's a brilliant conversation and I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. This episode is brought to you by Tallystone.com, the all-in-one data room, capital register and board workflow in one continuous system of record. Check out the detail mid-episode. Jacqueline Hasler, welcome to the CFO Track podcast.
Many thanks, Tom. Good to be here.
Absolutely. How was the weekend? What did you get up to?
Oh, gorgeous weekend. I had been in Sydney last week for our REA Pro product launch. Yep. And so was very happy to be home with the family, enjoying the sunshine in Melbourne.
Yeah, nice. It's always like a little bit of travel's nice, but it's good to get back home and there's always start unpacking all the nonsense of travel.
Yeah. Just getting used to being out and about and disrupting the routine that you try to sort of have at home. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
It's great. It's great to be with, your colleagues and peers.
Oh, 100%. So I've already given the listeners a bit of an intro, but I can never do it justice as well as you can. So it'd be good to hear it from you, who you are, what you're doing, where you're working, all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm Jacqueline Hasler. Everyone just calls me Jack. Cool. I'm currently the COO at XYSense, privacy first occupancy sensors. And as I mentioned, little plug. But that's not the new sensor, so I might need to.
For those just listening and not seeing video, she's pointed to the logo behind.
So has business with premium enterprise customers. So wonderful to be here. I've been here since May last year. Prior to that, I was at Tribe, marketing platform, and prior to that, Nura headphones, so high-tech headphones. And so I've been in the startup community for the last 6, going on 7 years, which has been fantastic. Nice. Prior to that at REA Group, and I did 10 years at PwC, both in Melbourne and London in assurance.
Nice. Well, we'll get into that in a bit, but before we do, it'd be great to go back to the start. Like, what was it about accounting? What was it about finance that drew you in the direction?
Yeah, I had this. I've mentioned this before and it sounds a little daggy, but and it wasn't really following in my father's footsteps, but he used to have his own business and I used to want clients and customers and understand their business better.
Yeah, okay.
So it was either that or a physio. So, just...
How old were you, were you saying before?
Oh, I was just so young. I used to walk around with little... recipes as opposed to anything of intelligence. I loved all of that very young age. And so when the decision came, I thought, well, how do I do something that's broad that could take me overseas? I chose commerce arts and it was like, well, what foundations, where do I start with these things? And it was recommended that I go into audit and sort of get that exposure and foundations. Try a Big Four. So my dream was getting over to London and working in secondment.
Okay.
And so that's very fortunately what I did. I got a job at PwC as a little grad. Is the internal transfer to larger markets like that, or where you're ideally going for a bit of travel and all that kind of thing, is that easy to do internally? Yes and no. I think usually needing to be a high performer.
Sure.
They're more likely to endorse you and to get the benefits of a return secondment as opposed to one-way transfer.
Sure.
And so I was very fortunate that I had a team manager that was based in Melbourne who went back to the UK,
Right.
and he was my development manager. And I had said to him, "Oh yeah, I'm coming to London one day." And I think he was
Yeah.
taken aback because I may have been a little more quiet back then and not so clear on what my goals were. So
Sure.
that was something. You can't just assume people know that you are driven. That was something
No.
I learned pretty early on. I'm like, how can you not tell? Like, I'm working my butt off. Wouldn't that indicate that I'm driven? But no, those conversations helped me, and he supported my transfer or my secondment over, but I also
Yep.
needed some support from the Melbourne office as well, from other
Yep.
partners.
Yep.
And so 2 years in London on some brilliant customers. I had the global Pearson audit. It was
Yeah.
just as
Okay.
Sarbanes-Oxley was being introduced.
Bit of
And
fun.
so doing a lot of work behind the scenes there. And Fremantle Media, so looking at all the
Yeah. Cool.
wonderful contracts, Hit Entertainment with Angelina Ballerina and Thomas the Tank Engine, all of
Nice.
those. Yep.
Yeah, right. And so, what do you think the benefits of doing it that way versus the contracting model that heaps of Aussies and Kiwis, etc., do?
Yeah, and I was there at the height of that when they had record number of Aussies
Really?
based in London.
Yeah,
It
right.
was like the peak, and after that, it sort of dipped.
Yeah,
And
sure.
everywhere you went, I was like, oh, I can't wait! I'm going to meet all these different people from different cultures, and I was working with so many Aussies. And I had quite a few friends over there at the same time. I think
Yeah.
for me, the benefit was everything is set up for you. It was much
Mm.
easier to obtain a bank account. All your
Yep.
taxes are done. It was
Yep.
just a lot of support. They help you find appropriate accommodation,
Yeah, cool.
um,
That
that
is the drama,
certainty of
right? Like,
income.
oh,
Yeah,
it's the Bermuda Triangle of it. The
yeah.
NI number, bank account, proof of address. You can't get any without the other, and it's absolute nightmare. So that would make
It's
sense.
all sorted for you,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
give or take a little
Turn
bit
up.
of admin.
Yeah, yeah,
I loved it. I'm
yeah.
very happy in the way that I did it, and took
Nice.
a couple months off on the way back to do a little bit
Yeah.
of travel.
Cool. How long do you go for?
In the end, 2 years. It was
Okay,
just as
that's
the
fair.
GFC was
Yep.
hitting. I probably would have done another year, but my husband was ready to come back.
Sure.
Um,
Nice.
and yeah, lots of travel in between.
Yeah, cool. And so you're saying that you were working with Pearson and Fremantle Media. Was there the SOX project that you're working on? What did that do for you professionally? Because often people talk about the personal development that they had over there, but that sounds hugely technical as well. You must have taken quite a lot from that.
Yeah, definitely. When you've got a portfolio that was very mixed in Melbourne, so I had some
Yep.
tech startups, and that's when my
Okay.
love of tech startups
Yeah, cool.
began.
Yeah,
And then I had maybe Nike or some other biotechs and just a
sure.
big variety of chemical companies.
Mm,
And this, you go to a large multinational like Pearson, and what is best practice? How do you set up the right controls? What are the
yep.
right delegation of authority? Like, it sounds very, look, it can be tedious, no offense to,
Sure.
but to understand what best practice is
Yep.
and how to set your business up for the future, to mitigate risk, and really is that risk awareness that I wouldn't have had otherwise,
Yeah.
and seeing how large organisations do set things up. So my goal is to get a startup to that point one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really was hugely beneficial in many ways.
Yeah.
And you're just surrounded by some amazing people, so learning off them as well.
Yeah. Nice. And
Yeah.
so coming back, how was it? Was it as seamless as you'd hoped?
Let me try to recall. Yeah, it was great, but I was itchy. I was keen to sink my
Yeah.
teeth into something a little bit different.
Yep.
I came back to a couple of my existing customers, clients, which
Sure.
is actually quite comforting, but also ready for a bit of a change at the
Yeah.
same
Nice.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you'd had a pretty decent stint with PwC, with 10 and a
10
half, but you
years,
got the
yeah,
senior
yeah.
manager level. So was there a particular reason why you'd stayed to that level? Because typical to move on to like audit senior or AM or something similar. What
Yeah,
drew
I
you
think
there for so long?
because was promoted in London to manager.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah.
Came back after a couple of years, had a bub,
Okay.
and
Yep.
then was the time
Sure.
to move. There was another secondment within PwC, whereas I was
Okay.
starting to look outside of audit and, what are my next steps? And sometimes when you're in the thick of it, it's hard to sort of come back up and go, okay, what do we really want to do from here? But I had lots of opportunities, and one was being the group manager of the PwC Foundation. So the foundation, the not-for-profit arm of PwC, and reporting into the senior director board there.
Yeah, okay.
And working with our 21 charity partners at the time. And it was more about truly understanding their pain points within the business, so whether it was the CEO, CFO, or COO, mainly CEO and COO that I speak with from these large third sector companies, not-for-profits. And then I would come back into PwC and speak to different people about in-kind contribution. So what services could we produce, both whether it's paid or in-kind, to help accelerate the business.
Yeah, cool. And then so what led up to the point when you did move on? Because would you go REA Group, I think, following that?
Yeah, I went to REA Group. I was put in touch with one recruiter. I wasn't actually in market too much. So again, quite fortunate. And I remember being a bit busy, and he's like, no, listen to me, this is a great opportunity. I'm like, really don't have time to think about it right now. and in a really good, he did it really well and had me listen.
Yeah.
And it was a tech startup, tech platform. And I'm like, can you just tell me who it is? I'm not going to follow through unless I know exactly who it is.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time he said REA Group. And I was like, who's REA Group?
Yeah.
Because no one knew who REA Group was when I first started at REA Group. Everyone knew it as realestate.com.au. So someone said that there was a lot of investment that went into for the REA Group name to be widely recognised across Australia. But
cool. Yeah. So what was the role that you came into?
The group reporting manager. There had been the team had been restructured, and I came in as the sole group reporting manager with responsible for the audit, financial statements, any financials that were going to market, including all of our reporting to News Corp, and I had one person supporting that with me.
Yeah, all right. See, I guess you kind of skipped that individual contributor level by staying in a little bit longer, because the typical senior accountant or financial accountant or whatever. Did you find that transition difficult, or were there any particular challenges as a result?
No, I don't think so, because I was in very familiar territory whereby I loved truly understanding something end to end, and I think that's what I felt was missing when I was in audit. Do I truly know this company? How do I live and breathe it more, rather than doing this sort of eagle view, eye view of it all? And so that definitely was something that I loved, and I just sunk my teeth into knowing everyone in the organisation. Now, when I started, the share price, so at REA, the share price was about $12, maybe a little bit less.
Yeah.
There was only 100 or 200 people at head office, and by the time I left, there was thousands upon thousands. And so I was there through enormous growth and opportunity. But all it did, it was just me and someone else trying to work through management reporting, News Corp reporting, board reporting. It was, and I landed on somewhere in May at REA Group. And had to have a set of financial statements ready for the auditors within weeks. So, it was just very familiar territory. I'm like, okay, sinking my teeth into what I used to do and converse with the auditors. So,
Yeah, cool. So, what was it, about 6-7 years and all that growth happening around you? How did your role change day to day?
So, very quickly, the group reporting function grew. So, able to add more and more people to that. So, a few things. There were times that we didn't have a strategy team.
Okay.
And so when we were exploring acquisitions, I was very fortunate to be the finance person that would tag along and review and be part of the due diligence. So a lot of that. Owen Wilson, and so he was brilliant in just sort of tucking me under his wing and going, okay, off you go, give it a go.
Who's Owen?
Owen Wilson. Oh, sorry, he he was the CFO of REA and then became the CEO.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And not actor Owen Wilson.
No. No, I do get asked that as well. And for instance, he came from the big bank, so he was like, we're about to enter into our first debt conversations. Would you like to tag along? I'm like, sure, I'll be a fly on the wall. So there was a lot of that opportunity. So I grew the group reporting team, as I mentioned, and then I took the corporate accounting team, finance team as well. So it became a larger group reporting and sort of that day-to-day finance team. Also there was some secondments as well. I looked after the commercial finance team across, and so these were the business partners that were seated within each of the divisions. And so I lent into that as well. And then when I went on parental leave, someone else had lent into my role as well. Mergers, acquisitions, lots. Yeah, there was just a lot going on. The Southeast Asian acquisition.
I know that to close a capital round, everything has to be spot on, but we've had our moments where we've had to scramble. The cap table is in a spreadsheet that might be right, the board resolutions are in a Dropbox that nobody's paying for, and an email thread from 2022. And the data room, that was built on a Sunday night because the investor asked for it by Monday. We know better and we know how risky it is. Tallystone puts all this in one place. AI-powered data rooms, capital register, board and shareholder workflows. One system that's always current, not just when an investor asks. I use it for story recruitment and it works like a dream to get set up. So make your job easier and de-risk the DD. It's the infrastructure that your corporate record should have had from day one. Start a free 30-day trial and get a live data room set up in 10 minutes. Use the promo code CFOTrack and find out more at tallystone.com. Let's get back to the show.
And then in my last 12 months, I knew I needed more commercial. I needed more commercial nous. I've been very much corporate group reporting focus throughout my career, really. Even in those couple of years at London, based in London, it was very much the group audit and not so much into the subsidiaries. And so I was well aware of my gap there, knowing that if I wanted to continue my career pathway, I needed more commercial knowledge. And so I stepped in to be the senior commercial manager.
Okay, cool.
For the realestate.com.au business. So really getting a view of that commercial finance view. We'll call the divisional CFOs. That's what Owen would refer to us as. But just saw a business grow. I saw HR move into people and culture. I saw finance really develop and partner with the business. Just saw us sort of operating like a startup or scale up in the background and maturing into a large, well-oiled business.
Yeah, nice. Navigating that business to that scale, though, must have been pretty full on. How did you manage that?
Oh, yeah, it was very full on. And have I learnt to probably manage that workload a lot more now? And so there's a lot of, teachable moments in all of that. For instance, in my last 12 months, I inherited a data and analytics team. And I was told to, shape up that team.
Right.
And maybe I pushed too hard. There's all these lessons along the way with leadership, following a directive as opposed to sort of standing objectively and going, this is what we can achieve with the team we've got, as opposed to pushing, one and not the other. And, there's just a lot there that I've, not only from a commercial perspective, but also from a leadership perspective. And REA was brilliant at leadership courses as well.
Right, okay. So when you're saying pushing too hard, is in pushing yourself too hard or pushing the team?
Pushing myself and pushing the team.
Okay. Yeah, right. Really. Okay. So looking back on it, what do you think you would have done differently?
Objectively assessed more, which I did at the beginning, but and knew what the business needed and knew how the team should look.
Yep.
But did I necessarily have the right team structure?
Sure.
And could I have communicated that back up?
Yeah. Okay.
Given the directive, change the team, fix it.
Yep.
That's your key focus. Other things are sort of intact and working really well here. So can you please focus here? This team's sort of been placed, has been reporting to different managers at different times. So what can you do to really shape it? And I think I should have stood back, presented what I thought could be achieved in a more clear timetable, as opposed to just trying to change everything very quickly. So I was pulling the lever too quickly. In hindsight, you look back. Whereas you've got people going, how's that going? How's it going? Can you change it? Can you change it? Can you change it?
Yeah.
And so you're pushing yourself, you're pushing the team, and then no one's left happy.
Yeah.
Everyone's left exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And so how did that finish up then? So you at REA for what, 7-ish years, and then the role with Nura came up.
I think for me, it was time to take a break. I hadn't taken much time off with my second child at all.
Yeah.
Again, I probably raced back too eagerly, too quickly.
Sure.
And but that was very much my choice and what I wanted. And I realized that, again, in hindsight, I was fatigued, I was losing confidence, and I couldn't quite work out what it was. And now I can look back and say, look, that was burnout for me. I didn't, was I sleeping enough? Was I exercising enough? What was I, how was I looking after myself so I could be my best self in all facets of my life? So I actually just took time out, and that was the scariest thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been so driven and so focused for so long. What will I do with myself if I gave myself 6 months off?
Yeah.
And it was
on the burnout bit. How did that manifest for you? What were the symptoms that you did notice? Was it really clear and evident?
It is now. When I read articles or something, I'm like, oh my God, I could tick everything off. So for me, waking up in the middle of the night or not sleeping very well at all. For me, it was not feeling like myself. So that loss of confidence when you've done it all before. So why something changing for me now? And then that lack of energy for home as well.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yep.
And then so the break that you took, how long did you take off?
I gave myself don't look for 6 months.
Yep.
Or so, and I kept really busy, and my husband would be like, can you just stay in your trackies and just, are you going to take some time out? I thought this was about you taking time out. I'm like, I am. I'm networking. I'm catching up with people. I'm doing things that I hadn't done for so long. More exercise, more what have you. It was just so what the soul needed at the time. It's just without the pressure. And how long was it? In the end, it might have been about 9 months or so, and it was so empowering. Yeah. Now, if I ever speak to anyone, because I was so frightened to make that move, and what would people think if I took time out, and what would the market think?
Sure.
And now you see it so much.
Heaps. Yeah.
You see it a lot where people are like, I've just had this amazing 5-10 years at the organisation I was employed at, and now I'm taking some time out to spend it with my family.
Nice.
And that was amazing.
Yeah, cool. So how important do you think that was for you then, taking that time off to really properly refresh before coming back into the workforce again?
Life-changing, because I'd gone from high school straight into, jobs, uni, 2 jobs over whilst at uni.
Sure. Yep.
You go into PwC.
Yeah.
So you go to Big Four, you know that the hours are big. Then you're doing your CA. Yeah. Then I go into REA, and it's booming. It's amazing. And if you're willing to just go, I'm here to learn, I'm curious, of course you get lots coming at you. Yeah. And so I had never stopped. And to be able to reflect and truly stand back and go, what do I really want to do? What brings me a lot of joy, and what will motivate me going forward, and just to sort of reset and feel I came back with so much more confidence, And
right.
really, it was empowering time. And it's hard to describe, but it truly was. And so I started researching what startups in Melbourne would I love to work for. I need to get back
Yeah.
into the tech startup world.
Yeah.
And I put it on a Trello board,
Oh, yeah.
and I had a coach at the time who I had been working with. It's another brilliant thing about REA. They would truly invest in your development.
Yep.
And I had asked for one coming into that new division with all the different directives, and they said, "Yeah, sure, you've got a few months with her. You can continue on."
Great.
And she knew someone at Nura, and Nura was in my top three. I think there were one or two
Awesome.
on my list.
So good.
Can you believe it? And they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
looking for the first CFO. They had just raised another 50 million.
Perfect.
It's like you put something out into the universe, so it can manifest itself. And I missed the message at first, and then and I think I had a few other roles in the mix at the time. But the Neuro one really excited me. So how about that? Just isn't
How funny.
incredible how things can work out?
How funny. So after spending that period of time out, coming into your first CFO role, how did you approach that? Was there a level of trepidation, or what was it like?
Yeah, naturally there is. And for me, I'm curious. I'm always like, how do I get more out of this? How do I learn from different people? What is the business looking for? How can I work with people and empower them or enable them? So, and at first, what I have found in the startup community on my journey is that there's usually a directive to employ a CFO as opposed to someone really wanting one. So it's it's biding your time, sort of building on the insights to enable the business to then really be seen as a trusted advisor. And I was able to, it probably took me longer than I had wanted it to, probably about 6 months. But I just worked, I had a great team there, and I still keep in touch with them, and just worked through, we're working off zero. And it's like, okay, with a few entities across the globe, how do I extract information, truly understand what's going on by division, by product, and build out metrics for board reporting that I can use as insights. And if we were to raise funds again, what's the consistency that I'm demonstrating on behalf of the business? And that was something I learned crucially at REA as well, because I was working on the investor presentations. How do we get the trust of shareholders in terms of what are you reporting consistently to market? And so that's the approach I took into Nura.
So moving from such a big business like REA to a smaller, high growth, and then in your brand new first CFO role, how did you make that transition?
Yeah, good question. How did I make that transition? Again, my mantra is to objectively observe and absorb at first.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if I come in with there's always a good reason as to why a company does something. People don't just, maybe they do make it up on the fly, but there is a particular reason why at the time. And so it was understanding why things worked the way they did. So then I can stand back and go, well, I've seen what great looks like. How do I put them on the trajectory of achieving that going forward as well?
Yeah.
And how do I best enable the business? What are the gaps? What are we trying to understand? So again, just looking for those insights to support strategic decision making, building the trust within not only the business, but also with the board, and so that transparency of reporting and all those things that I had managed for so long at REA. Again, was second nature, but it's just sort of managing expectations of what can truly be achieved when you don't have a massive team and you don't have NetSuite, but that doesn't matter in to much extent anymore. And so being able to demonstrate and extract those insights again, I think for me was always top of mind.
And so what does that look like for building trust and setting expectations and getting runs on the board, let's say? Like, how do you go about doing that? Like, what are the quick wins you need to be focusing on in that kind of space?
For me, in that size organisation, you really need to be hands-on.
Yep.
Yeah. And again, very fortunate that I had this amazing team that were ready for some change. So I went from a team that wasn't ready for change, and I forced it into a team where I had a little more trepidation there.
Yep.
And, how much do I push? Trying to understand what are their career goals? How do I make this amazing finance manager more commercial finance? And anyway, so building out the team, and they were completely on board.
Yeah,
And together we were able to build those insights and dig deep. Founders tend to be engineers and those types of businesses.
Yeah.
And so I started too high level. I'm like, the business is making this amount and it's not quite making this amount. And cash is this. Too high level. So then I tried again. This division. No, we're talking to engineers. So another great lesson I took from that was I needed to go to product unit for them to truly understand. And so it's finding the right way to, what information do those decision makers need to help them with future decisions and truly understand the business. But for me, I also don't say no straight away. Seek to understand. That was another big thing. I'm just coming in here to understand. Sure, let's give that a go. If it doesn't work, though, we'll need to make a change. Otherwise, people go around you.
So the founders being engineers, are you talking as in software engineers or just general, like more mechanical engineer, or just engineering as a whole?
Yeah, mechanical and a surgeon, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And then so what prompted the move next year with Tribe for a couple of years following that? Is that right?
Yes, it was this perfect fusion between my startup experience and listed experience. So Tribe was looking for a CFO to lead them through the IPO.
Yep.
And so I was just wrapping up with Nura and supporting Tribe through their roadshows and I was really excited for that perfect fusion. And unfortunately, it was just as the tech bubble was bursting.
A quick one before we get back to it. If you're listening to this podcast, you probably already know that I recruit for senior finance professionals for high growth businesses. That's what I do outside of this show. My approach is built around storytelling. When I take on a search, I build a narrative around the business, who they are, what they're building, where they're going, and why that role matters. Before I reach out to a single candidate, I tell that story across multiple channels to my network of over 28,000 finance professionals in Australia, so that when I do start conversations, candidates already know who you are and there's a level of buy-in before I even contact them. So if you're a founder, CEO, or CFO that's thinking about a finance hire, even if it's early days, I'm always happy to chat. Whether that's a question, some free advice, or a sense check on what the market looks like. You can find me on LinkedIn or at storyrecruitment.com.au. All right, let's get back into it.
I think I joined, and within a week or two, unfortunately, the IPO was pulled.
Right. Okay.
That was what attracted me to Tribe. It really was that perfect fusion of bringing it all together and being able to lead a small business into a listed environment, given I had done that for so many years at REA. Things don't always work out as planned, and this is where you pivot. So a couple of things. At REA, I did a sideways step to knowing that I needed commercial now.
Sure. Yep.
Then at Tribe, okay, fine, I didn't become that listed CFO that at the time I was very keen on. It was an amazing, amazing, amazing team. And we were able to then pivot and find a different strategy that actually worked out better for the business in what was a really tough market at the time, because different wars, people cutting back on marketing globally. So we were able to pivot away from the judgmental eyes of the shareholders and really lean into, different aspects of the business, exploring Web3 marketing as well.
Yeah, cool. So how long into the role was the IPO pulled, you were saying?
Within a couple of weeks. So I joined to be part
Okay.
of that IPO. And I was
Yeah,
doing
right.
road shows. I was sort of supporting Nura and Tribe from the last couple of weeks.
Yep.
Just to support that IPO go through, to make
Yeah, right.
sure Nura was set up for success as well. So just a bit of
Sure.
crossover in those last couple of
Yep.
weeks.
Yep.
And just as I joined, the IPO was pulled. People
Yeah,
were
right.
fatigued. The advisors
Yeah.
were fatigued. Things were changing in market daily. Like just one day everyone's on board, and then over the next few days people were suddenly pulling out, and then there's hardly been IPO since in that regard. That was
Yep.
the last of the very fruitful
Sure.
IPO market, and
Yeah,
spent
yeah.
a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 3 years at Tribe,
Yeah.
and a wonderful team and
Yeah.
incredible board.
Yeah. And so how do you manage the team through that? Because obviously you've got your own personal feeling that like, oh, I'm getting so excited for this IPO, but the rest of the team are probably feeling the same too, right? And the rest of the
Yeah.
business. So how do you manage stakeholders and teams through stuff like that?
With a lot of compassion, because
Mm.
the finance team, it was small. They had been through, I think, 3 years of audits in 18 months.
Yep.
So they
Okay.
were exhausted, and they were
Yeah.
doing so much. And so it was, how do we best automate this and make it more effective for you?
Mm.
Because I didn't want them to burn out, and they had been working so hard for this, and it didn't come to fruition.
Yep.
How do we pivot? How do we
Mm.
make sure when you think you're going to be sitting on a lot of capital and suddenly you're not? So how do you
Mm.
navigate that?
Yep.
Making it very transparent across the team, with the board. The board were, incredibly supportive.
Yeah. I guess it helps, doesn't it? You need kind of everyone on board, otherwise it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so.
Sometimes people might have fingers pointed, but it was such a united, genuinely united, collaborative environment.
Yeah, cool. And then when did the XY Sense role come up?
So I made a very tough decision to leave Tribe. It was not
Yep.
easy. If
Yeah.
anything, again, to leave such a wonderful team was a very difficult decision. But there was what appeared to be an amazing role, that opportunity for another growing startup.
Mm.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out, and
Sure.
so I had left within 6 weeks of that occurring.
Yep.
So how the role at XY Sense came about was, I had actually been a finance advisor to their board, and had been working with their head of finance at the time behind the scenes,
Yep.
and had shared some information. These are how we do revenue recognition, because it's HAS, the same as Nura. Nura had HAS as well.
Sure.
And I would happen to be available after resigning from Tribe, and I said, oh, if you need someone for a few months, because they had a couple of people leave the finance team, if you need my support, I'm available for a couple of months, and I'll just fill in for you.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's meant to be just a part-time,
Yep.
short stint, but it was working really, really well. And in August,
Yep.
joined
Okay.
as COO.
Yeah. Right. And so what do they focus on as a business as a whole? Can you just give a bit of an outline?
It's privacy first occupancy sensors. So working with large enterprise businesses, their occupancy costs are, 30-40% of their P&L.
Okay.
And so we install sensors.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
We've got, old one.
Yeah.
So what is it used for? It's really for that employee environment. So how do you best engage your employees? Do you have enough meeting rooms? Is that open space collaborative area actually used, or are people just looking for more space for meetings?
Yeah.
Do people want to sit or stand?
Yeah.
So again, it's privacy first. So I really want to emphasize, that's why I've used that term quite a few times, because I don't want anyone to think it's Big Brother whatsoever. So
Sure.
it's not a camera, a sensor
Yep.
for just truly understanding the needs of the team to make it the best environment they've got. We're talking 5,000 plus employees in
Okay,
different
wow.
sites all across the globe. And so some of our customers have, maybe 10 countries,
Yep,
where we have installed our Area Pro sensor,
yep, yep.
and monitoring their needs. And what do their people need the most?
Yeah, gotcha. And so where do you think business is going over the next 12, 18, 24 months? Or what's the growth plans look like?
Yeah, continuing to expand with our customers as well. So
Mm,
when working with large enterprise, you might start with the US or the UK office, and very quickly, as long as we are providing, the key data and insights that are helping them improve their
yep.
workplace for their employees, and in turn increase
Mm,
the employee engagement.
yep.
Very quickly, we find that we're able to expand with them across the world.
Yeah, cool.
So
Right.
what was initially started in Melbourne, headquartered in Melbourne, has
Yep.
grown to the US, the UK, India. India is growing. We've got business growing in Singapore at the moment as well, and
Yeah,
across
wow.
Europe. And Europe really deep into smart buildings as well. So how do we connect with their HVAC? So the
Yep.
heating and cooling and smart cleaning. This is the insights that our data can
Mm,
provide them in terms of that area hasn't seen much foot traffic today.
yep.
So, but this side of maybe this conference room has. So
Yeah, okay.
cleaners only need to clean there once today, but if they could go to the conference room twice. I'm using overly basic
No, 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 that's
examples,
helpful
but
for me.
isn't it fascinating what we can do?
Yeah,
Controlling the air quality, the heating and cooling, so what optimizes, again, to create that very engaging and increasing productivity as well, right? If you're happy in your environment
yeah,
at
yeah,
work, then you give back. So continue to expand globally, so
yep,
into new markets and
yep.
looking at different channels as well. So yeah, exciting growth times here as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so, what do you see as the big challenges for accounting or for finance or the market that you're in at the minute? Where do you see as the big challenges over the next 12, 18 months?
Yeah, from accounting perspective, our accounting packages haven't really caught up with AI
Okay.
yet, but I
In
welcome it.
systems,
Bring it
packages.
on. Yes,
Yeah,
systems
yeah,
packages, bring it on. Help
yeah,
us
yeah,
reduce the manual workload, so we can stand back and truly analyze
yeah,
and provide those insights to enable the rest of the business. So I'm,
yeah,
I'm all about how do we reduce the manual nature of what we do,
yeah,
and how can we extract information? What's going to help the marketing team? What's going to help the hardware team or the engineering team, the sales team? What data do they need? What data do we need to optimize
yeah,
and make better strategic decisions? And so I'm very much welcoming of AI, and had a
mm,
session with CFO Network a couple of weeks ago, and was blown
yeah,
away by how much people are now starting to, what they can do with some
yeah. Okay.
spreadsheets now.
Yeah, right.
And so how do you see that more widely used, and the security around that?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
No one just sort of jumping in on your network and being able to extract too much information. So
Yeah,
working through that, so very excited. But the challenges are, how do people adopt that quickly and mitigate risk?
yep.
But yeah, I'm very eager to bring more of that into my finance team.
Yeah, for
For
sure. So
sure.
you're mentioning before about the accounting packages. Do you think there's any out there that are doing it well in terms of adding in a further automation or a further AI component to it? Are there any
Yeah.
recommendations
So
that you think are
as
doing well?
small to mid-sized companies,
Mm,
we tend to use Zero. So I've
yep.
been through a NetSuite integration,
Okay. Yeah.
and I don't think we need that just yet. There are so many different tools and applications that you can add on to your accounting package.
Yeah.
And so there's one in particular that's helping with month end, that's called Mayday.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So loving Mayday because it simplifies intercompany reconciliations or prepayments, and it's doing some of that manual tasks for us. But you still have to stand back and understand, is that doing it right? So I've had to unwind a few things if someone hasn't set it up right or what have you.
Yeah.
But I personally think it's brilliant, and how much more can we build this into other parts of the business as well, or across different balance sheet accounts.
Sure.
My consolidation is still in Fathom, and my cash flow forecast is still in Google Sheets. So how do I continue to automate those, make those more effective, more real time? And Sift is another one, 90 days.
Okay,
But I feel like I'm a bit bitsy at the moment. So what I've inherited is a little bit bitsy. How do I bring it all in a little bit more? I've got Mayday, Fathom. How do I really focus on those? And get what I need. But I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And the challenges in a scale up is it's hard to raise funds at the moment. It's just not compared to where the market was 5-6 years ago when I first joined startups, and the valuations, it's very different now. So again, what are the key metrics that I want to show, present to future investors, prospective investors, and what makes sense for our business? How do we manage those going forward? And again, that consistent, authentic and factual presentation of key metrics. How do I get the team across it? But for me, I'm still sort of building out those foundations, and we're having to do that and be self-funded at the moment. Speaking with people in the industry, we're all in the same boat. Like, how do you do a lot with a small envelope of funds? And because that can inhibit growth, it can create a great discipline within the business. But we're just at this pivotal point where we could really mature as a business and continue to scale globally. But there's a lot of compliance and costs that comes with that. And at the same time, preparing for what would future funding look like in order to get us there. But at this point in time, managing it within our means, really.
I think it's a pretty common challenge, trying to get more for less, or operate lean and just doing the best you can in uncertain times, right? No, well, I think that's a good time as any to finish up there, Jacqueline. But I think your approach to managing burnout and working through those challenges and then building beyond the CFO role has been really interesting and really valuable. And I hope that the listeners listen. I'm sure they'll agree. So if anyone has any questions or wants to reach out, where's the best way to reach out?
Ping me on LinkedIn. Happy to connect.
Great. Well, thanks again for your time, and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the CFO Track. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with a friend. I'll see you next time.